Brodes Media.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Wow! Why does this team get me like this? I don't know. It's a joke. What's not a joke, though, I'm giving away a Zach Ertz jersey. That's right, over on Twitter, at Brodes Media. Pinned to the top of the profile, there is a graphic that explains the rules. There's a tweet. You have to follow me and retweet that tweet. Next Wednesday, the winner will be selected, so make sure you enter to win. Also, Coffee with Brodes, live every morning, 9 a.m. here on the East Coast. Make sure you're tuning in to Coffee with Brodes. It's so much fun. We kick back, we relax, we chat. I pull up your chat on screen. It's super fun. Now that football season's getting into gear, you're not going to want to miss out throughout the week of talking birds with me live in the AM. On Twitter, my personal account, at Brodes81. Toss me a follow there, and that's it. With that being said, enjoy the show. This is a kick in the balls. That's exactly what it is. 2 strikes, 2 outs, 0-2 count. And we're throwing a curveball right over the middle of the plate. What are we doing? I thought that only happened when JT Realmuto was behind the plate. That's what I was informed, right? Oh, this guy's the worst. He can't call a game. No, I tried explaining to you that the lack of execution is the biggest problem. The catcher behind the dish is not having freedom of just doing anything they want to do. This is all processed and this is all thought out. That is a disgrace. Ian Kennedy cannot miss that spot. But I also wonder what in the universe is going on when a player comes to the Philadelphia Phillies because they forget how to throw the baseball. You can't leave that pitch over the middle of the plate. And even throwing that pitch to begin with, hello. Now, I'm not going to tell you I loved everything else he threw, even though he was generating outs earlier in that inning. There were moments where I was a bit discouraged with Ian Kennedy just in general. But yeah, I mean, especially when you're down or when you're up 0-2. If you're the hitter, you're down 0-2. How do you leave something so juicy over the middle of the plate? But anyway, getting to what Ian Kennedy did in Texas compared to what he's doing now here in Philly, he allowed 5 homers total in 32 1/3 innings when he was playing for Texas. 6 home runs in 13 2/3 of innings here. Why do players collapse? Why do players forget basic baseball knowledge when they come play for this city? It dives deeper than you want to go, Joe. It dives way deeper than Joe Girardi. This isn't a this season thing. This isn't a just underneath Joe Girardi. Excuse me. I was going to say this happens under Gabe Kapler as well in this city. And it happens before that and before that. Why? I'm sick and tired of it. I'm watching the Braves walk it off against the Washington Nationals to now add some separation to their division lead. 3.5 games back of the division right now. You have to beat this Colorado team. And you know what pisses me off? They do what they do all the time. And that's when they piss a lead away, they make you feel you have a chance. That's what happens. Didi Gregorius knocks it to the right side. That scores a run. JT up. Failed miserably. What do you know? Swing and a miss with a high fastball that's almost touching his damn ear, and he's swinging. By the way, he did this last night when Kyle Gibson fell apart. Didn't have one of his best starts. Here's JT Realmuto late. And, well, yeah. JT Realmuto's clearly injured. You know, it goes back to, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I'm saying he's clearly injured because we know about the shoulder problem. But earlier this year, when Bryce Harper was slumping and he couldn't even catch up to the fastball, and standard basic middle-of-the-road relief pitchers were not afraid of him. Think about the difference now where you'd rather walk him to bring in a run instead of pitch to Bryce Harper because he's so damn scary. That is just wild to think about the extreme of the two in this one season. But there was a time where he got hit in the wrist and then the back. And Bryce Harper, we were questioning what the hell is going on with him right now. Well, it makes a lot of sense with JT. I mean, it makes a lot of sense with the shoulder issue. Not in the lineup today. Joe said he was going to play the rest of the way against the Rockies anyway. More of an off day than anything serious. I don't know if I can necessarily buy that message because, well, I've seen them lie about situations before. I just don't trust those type of reports. I can sniff bullshit, and that Joe one to me is a little bit of some bullshit. But regardless, you know, you'll probably see him play anyway, but I don't think it's just them, hey, we're just casually taking a step back. Oh, yeah, let's casually start taking steps back with our better named players because it's just a rest. Yeah, okay. September 9th. It's a lot more than that. Trust me. But that makes me wonder how much blame do I put on JT and how much of this is, look, this is what happens when you're toast. This is what happens when your body is done for you this season and you have to consistently keep trotting him out there because, well, what else are you going to do? And it's not to the level of his arm's going to fall off or else he wouldn't be there. We know they take the softer approach with a lot of their player safety. So he's hurt and he's being out there playing, but in a I could play hurt way. But now we're starting to realize that maybe you can't because your production is so foolish and so sad that we thought you would be able to. But in general or in reality, now that we see more at-bats and we see you logging in more time, no, maybe it's not. But here's the thing. Marshawn, okay. Andrew Knapp. And I like Marshawn. All right. But let's not blow this out of proportion here on what he can do and what he is. I've seen some Marshawn love on the Twitter sphere, so I just got to make sure that I reference that so the people know. There's the put in Hector Neris to close crowd now. It just cracks me the hell up. Hector Neris has been very strong to this point, and, he's clearly found his new role. Now, all of a sudden, we want to put him back into the position where everybody claimed that he absolutely blows and he should never close another game again in a Phillies uniform, and he stinks, get him out of town. I never want to see his face again, and now it's, we should put him in there instead of Ian Kennedy. I actually agree with what Joe Girardi said after the game. Now, he mentioned having to deploy Hector when he needs to because they actually have to get to the ninth inning. That's a concern. If you pluck Hector away from that role, who's getting you there? Archie Bradley? Okay, yeah. We all know that he's had his struggles as of late. So Connor Brogdon? Okay. He also can allow a home run to the opposing team in a devastating spot, maybe in a 4-3 series clinching game against the Milwaukee Brewers. I like him, but I'm just trying to show you the alternative is not automatically special. I like what Coonrod did his last outing, but is that him every time? How do you get to the ninth? I don't disagree with Joe Girardi's thought process there, but this is what he said about Kennedy. We'll look at it every day, but Ian Kennedy is our closer. He's had big saves for us too, and some tough saves for us. Just tonight, he was one strike away. He got the first two guys out, executed pitches, then after that, he didn't. So I don't think he's not capable of doing it because I've seen him do it. He just didn't do it tonight. And that's what I was saying when they acquired Ian Kennedy. He's someone who is better than what you have at the time, but just like any of the closers in baseball, Chapman and Jensen, the list goes on and on of bigger names, Craig Kimbrell, and they blow saves. It's a nature of the beast. I'm not a big, huge Ian Kennedy supporter, but he's just coming off of a 2-innings performance just the other day, and he's fine then. Nobody hates him then. You're going to have hiccups. You can't hold them to the Brad Lidge mindset of I'm never going to blow a save. This was more of Ian Kennedy just made a mistake in a moment. It's not as if he's not capable of closing out future games and you just give up on somebody after they allow a blown save to occur. Blown saves happen. I'm not the biggest Ian Kennedy supporter, but I think if we're objectively analyzing what you have in this back end of the bullpen, Hector Neris is grooving and clicking and smooth as hell right now operating in this role. we're just now going to start moving things around. Ian Kennedy blew one save. If he starts blowing 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, now we can put the pause button on it and head in another direction. But I need to see how he responds to this moment first before I just pull the plug on him instantly. I did mention that there's a difference in home runs and innings pitched. It's in a big extreme from Texas and here in Philly, but a lot of that was, if you remember early when he got his number called early in non-save situations, he got ripped up a bit, but then he calmed down and became more of a presence that was executing fine. It makes no sense because it is so extreme. At the same time, I do feel that it looks harsher than what it really is at the same time as well. You're always going to go through some sort of Ian Kennedy experience. It'll get ugly. It'll get awkward. It will with Hector Neris as well, though, just to be fair. You're going to sweat it out, and it'll hurt your gut big time. That's for sure. But it just depends on if they get the W or not. Now, I'm getting a text message from the fiance, and I'm recording this late at night. We got ourselves a puppy. Can you take the puppy outside right now? Now, unfortunately for her, I'm in the middle of recording this podcast, so I'm going to have to let her know. And let's see how this goes. Probably going to get yelled at. And we will continue, see her response, and see how this goes. I thought Ranger Suarez was solid. He gave you your 6 innings, 1 earned run, had some nasty changeups in there. Good luck swinging at that bad boy. He's getting some nice Ks. So, Ranger Suarez, we just saw the tricep soreness, and that took him out of last game. He threw over 90 pitches. He had his 6 innings, and he kept your baseball team involved. And what pisses me off, which is like the 6th or 7th time I feel I've said that so far this episode, when you see Bryce Harper step up early once again and annihilate a baseball, what are we doing here? Bryce Harper, being your leader, being your emotional guy, is now just helping you out early, and nobody seems to want to back him up. No one seems to support him. And now we're going right back into the same trap that we did a few weeks ago. This is all because of Rhys Hoskins. Yes, Rhys Hoskins matters to the lineup. But when they were scoring 12-7 runs and it was going on a stretch of how many times did they score 7 runs in a row? And, this is amazing. It's not Rhys Hoskins' fault anymore. Now they go back to reality a little bit. It's all Rhys Hoskins. No, it's not. It's not all Rhys Hoskins. Yes, they are struggling to find protection with Bryce Harper. At the same time, he's hitting home runs early. He's smacking one off the right field wall, and here goes some base running. Luckily, Brad Miller puts one in play. A bobble at second base scores a run. And in that inning, when the Phillies took the lead late, it should have been even more runs if Odubel Herrera knew how to slide at third base. So mental mistakes costing this team again. I'm surprised as hell. I'm stunned. I'm shocked to see that news. Hell no, I'm not shocked to see that damn news. It's part of their identity as a core. Puts a lot of pressure on your bullpen game tomorrow. Yeah, let's add that to the mix too. Now you got to go bullpen game, and you got to use all these guys again. And then if you think about the game after that with Wheeler, okay, you need him to go far. He gave you 6 last time. He did good, but 6. Nola, Gibson. There's so much stress on the bullpen right now because of nobody solidifying a 5-man rotation for you. And that's basically why you're starting to see these type of moments happen. You can't just look at it night by night without looking at the previous 3 or 4 nights that impacts that bullpen. If they give you 3 straight games of completing their duties, or 2-3 games, in a row where the bullpen does fine, and then on the 4th night they collapse big time, and that's when the Phillies have the lead. Well, unfortunately, all those other moments prior, okay, the percentage rate is fine. I'm not telling you I love the percentage rate of this 30 blown save. And I always wonder how much of this happened with somebody on second base and extra innings, and how much does that impact the 30 times they've blown saves. I'm not saying that, but it's clear now where they are compared to where they were earlier in the season. their bullpen has made significant strides towards being able to be efficient, holding the fort down when necessary, not being an absolute dumpster fire consistently. It's just a lot easier to remember the poor times, and you don't remember the times where they complete their job because you just expect it and then you move on to the next night, which it's fair to expect it, but you have to keep that in context when analyzing the team on a more of a bigger scale, more of a bigger picture approach. But anyway, it doesn't change the fact that Ian Kennedy can't make that mistake today. It raises the question of who is it coming from: Joe Girardi, Caleb Cotham, Ian Kennedy himself, Marshawn, just the communication between all parties here. It needs to change because the philosophy with a lot of these pitchers have been more problematic as you think about their approaches to the plate. It's more about the approach when we discuss why this team fails at times, and the execution too, but the approach also. What made you feel after what you saw earlier that inning? That, yeah, you know what's good here? Or earlier in that at-bat. You know what would be good here? An off-speed pitch that I hang. Put it in the dirt if you're going to throw it. I don't even love it in general. Throw in the curve, but let's say you do. Put it in the damn dirt. You know what? I got a text message throughout this game, and it was talking about the crowd in Citizens Bank Park, right? This is September baseball. We're literally almost in the middle of September. Middle of September, we're almost there. How many people are in those stands? 6, 7, 8? I'm not even talking 1,000. I'm talking legitimate numbers. 5. Nobody. This is September baseball. This is what we were all juiced up for and amped up for. 9 people buying hot dogs in September against a team that stinks on the road. Ian Kennedy got shelled, too. After the game, game sealing home. What's the best way to describe it? Game-winning home run? Really? Was I that confused there? I've been confused the last few episodes where I've been questioning what the hell type of sentence structure that was or the words that flew out of my mouth, which, makes me feel uncomfortable. What doesn't make me feel uncomfortable, though, is DraftKings Sportsbook. The NFL is back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving all new players a can't-miss offer for Week 1. Bet just $1 an NFL game during the first week of the season and receive $200 in free bets instantly, no matter what. So take advantage of this limited-time offer right now. You heard right. DraftKings is giving all new players $200 in free bets instantly when you place a bet of $1 or more in any Week 1 game. Plus, you can make every game a big game with same-game parlays. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Brodes to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any Week 1 game. That's promo code Brodes to get your free $200 in free bets instantly for a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only, new customers only. Restrictions apply in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. To DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And I got a text message from the fiance saying, okay, I got it. How about that? When you come up, though, just be super quiet. You won't need to take her out. How about that? I thought I'd get the hell up here text, the you better get your ass up here real quick text, or take the damn dog out text. All right. It's going to be a good rest of the night. Probably be a good morning tomorrow. That's what we like to see. All right. Now it's time to flood on over to the Anytime Hotline. This is normally when I like to get a drink. And I know I normally have some water bottles laying around because I always fill them up and then I keep them on my desk for the day and I drink them periodically throughout. I thought I didn't have one. I totally do have one because I always leave one right to the right of my chair. I don't know. I always grab it like that. And, yeah, so I don't know if anyone noticed that, but I'm constantly drinking water throughout the Anytime Hotline calls. Right, because I lose my damn mind throughout the first 20 minutes of a show, and then by that time, I'm out of breath. It's like I ran through a treadmill for 25 minutes at speed 4 on incline 3. Here we go, Anytime Hotline.
Hey, Brodes. I'm not sure if you're doing a Phillies pod tonight concerning the football game that's going on. You know what? I don't blame you if you don't do a Phillies pod concerning how much of a fucking disgrace this team is. That's probably going to be the final nail in the coffin. Ian Kennedy has been absolutely terrible with the Phillies. It seems like every reliever we get, no matter how good they were in the previous team, they just have to suck with the Phillies. And JT Realmuto is not the best catcher in baseball, and that was always just a cheap marketing ploy in order to get more fans to games. He's completely lost right now, and maybe Bryce Harper should teach him a few things about how to play up to his contract.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's a couple things there. That was not a marketing strategy to get players or to get people in the stands to watch a player like JT Realmuto. He supported that name and that title because of the way that he played the game, and it happened on the field for a long period of time in Miami, and when they made the trade, he earned that and had the respect of that, even though I'm fully aware that the catcher position is not very deep. It's not as if there's 10 billion catchers that are fantastic and he was beating out the world, but he did deserve the respect because he played that strongly. This year, though, it's been a disaster, and as of late, he just looks so overwhelmed, so overpowered, and in his head, for sure, he's swinging at pitches. He's flailing. He's going fishing on the outside part of the plate. He's swinging at pitches that are about to smoke his head. So, he's lost for sure, but I also have to factor in that he's playing through something, and we know it because of the way that they've used him and the way that Gene Segura mentioned it just a little bit of time ago. So, as much as I'm hard on JT and I'm disappointed in spending that much money on the position in general, he earned that name for how he played for a period of time. It's not just nonsense. It's not as if they traded for Gene Segura and then claimed Gene Segura the best second baseman in the game, or they had Alec Boehm at third base and claimed that he was the best third baseman in all of baseball, or whatever the case may be in any of these positions. It was respectfully earned, but yeah, I mean, this season it has been egregious. I have to imagine, though, that there's some sort of significant pain playing a role in why he has become this much of a disaster. You don't take him from behind the plate to first base with this type of money. If he's playing his best brand, he's behind the dish, he's throwing guys out at second, you're not running on him, and that just hasn't been the case, and that falls on his shoulders for sure, no pun intended. But yeah, we have to look at JT Realmuto and say, we expect more from you. Because it's been a mess, basically, since August. There was something else that you mentioned that I needed to get to. Oh, yeah. You said that Ian Kennedy has absolutely sucked here in Philly. I don't think that that's fair. As I said, I feel when you see numbers, it makes it seem he's been way worse than what he is. I'm not even a big Ian Kennedy guy. See, here I am. I have one take on JT, but when I'm trying to put it in perspective with how it was mentioned throughout the call, there's a line here, and I'm kind of playing with that line because sometimes people can cross it. And I think with both of these scenarios, while I understand what you're saying, Ian Kennedy has been embarrassing and, there's been some really tough moments for him. He hasn't absolutely sucked. He's actually helped you out. I would say when we weigh out the pros and cons of Ian Kennedy so far to this point, it could get worse, trust me. And I wouldn't rule that out knowing the history of what we've seen and the historic bullpen that we've witnessed a couple years ago. Or was that last year? I'm already losing damn track of time. Was that last year already? I guess it was, right? It was during the shortened season. Jeez, my track of time is just lost as well. I feel like JT Realmuto in the batter's box. Ian Kennedy, his pros probably outweigh his cons to this point. His better moments have probably outweighed his worst moments so far in a Phillies uniform, even though it hasn't been sharp. All right, what's the next call?
All right, bro. The Phillies lose again 4-3 to a team that's 19-50 on the road. Ranger pitched well, doesn't matter. Bryce hit another home run, doesn't matter. Bullpen pitched well, for the most part, doesn't matter. This team has blown 30 saves. 30. Cut those in half, we're leading the division by a lot.
So I hate to be that guy. I also heard Ben Davis talk about it a bit on the broadcast. if you cut half of those, you'll be in first place by X amount of games. And yes, you're right. In theory, that is true. But then you're changing who the Phillies are. That's like saying if I was 6'9", I'd be in the NBA. Well, Brodes, you're changing who you are. You can't take that away from the Philadelphia Phillies. That was part of the early term of this season. And part of why we get stressed out about this team is because at times here comes the bullpen and they fail, and it's been a bit of a disaster as of the last couple of years in big moments, and they lose in such heartbreaking ways. 1 strike away, 0-2 count, and you're throwing that pitch and it's right over the heart of the plate. Come on, man. You knew instantly as soon as it left his hand, I knew it as soon as I saw the ball a half a centimeter out of his hand. No. But I can't pretend that we no longer care. Well, you get 15. We just get 15 extra wins? We just get 15, or not extra wins, but we just get 15 scenarios added back to us that the Phillies didn't blow? Well, then you're changing the Phillies. I can't change the Phillies. But see, it's not that simple. Because let's say the blown saves were wrong, and they're 15 instead of 30. You're still making errors defensively. Your offense is still going quiet. Who's to say you still win those games? If that specific moment's not blown, that doesn't mean you still win. It could be blown again, just in another scenario, which would probably make sense considering, wait for it, this is who they are. So I understand what the idea of the statement is. I just don't love the statement personally.
What's going on, Brodes? Just finished watching that pathetic game. I am totally on board with the Phils are just an average team. I mean, they're talking about playoffs. They're talking about, we want to be in the postseason. We want to be in the chase. And there's just really nothing to this team. I mean, if we won that game, honestly, it was because of Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is literally doing his best to put the team on his back. And just all through the entire lineup, from start to finish, you've seen the hitting really just take a nosedive. I don't know if it has to do anything with Joe Dillon and his approach, what he's teaching, or if the players themselves are just really in a bad funk. But that Ian Kennedy, let's just throw him back into AAA, or let's just not have him around for the next season.
Yeah, you see, I think that's where we're going overboard again with the line, but I'm saying with playing the line on how bad Ian Kennedy really is. But I think, you mentioned the offense somewhat nosediving, right? And I feel that makes a lot of sense. We asked this so many times. How does this team win? With Freddie Galvis, Ronald Torreyes, Jankowski, Luke Williams. Who else was there? Nick Maton and Brad Miller at times getting overexposed by playing too many minutes, logging in too many games, even though as of his recent stretch, there's been some good power numbers and some special moments. But ultimately, there was also a big stretch where he was crushing you at first base because he couldn't really produce for you offensively. This makes sense. The players that are playing every day are utility guys that are now trying to fill a bigger role. And when utility guys play over time, a long period, the back of the baseball card becomes true. You fall back to the norm instead of, with a smaller sample size, having a possibility and the ability to maybe create some spark and, be hot and stay hot in a limited role compared to getting more at-bats and having more times to fail because you're a utility player for a reason. And that's basically where I think we're at. It's more of a product of the entire lineup. But, yeah, also with JT and Didi going ice cold this season, it doesn't help either. Didi has been a mess. Once again, though, he had a major problem with his forearm that limited him all season long. By now, I would imagine that that's all done with and you're moving on, but am I not giving it enough credit what type of pain and discomfort and issues that takes timing-wise, missing so long of a season. I'm just looking for answers because these two have been around for too damn long to be this damn bad for a serious amount of time. Eventually, these players, like we saw with Bryce Harper, not that the two I mentioned are MVP caliber dudes, but you saw him go from bad to, hey, I'm going to pick myself up out of this. Most players pick themselves out of this, and they haven't. So why haven't they? I got a few answers, and we just don't know which one's the right one. The injuries, it takes time to readapt because of that. The organizational philosophy, they're just not good anymore. You put on a Phillies uniform and magic powers come in, and the baseball gods just take everything away from you. Maybe it's a combination of all of them. I don't know. But it's stressful. I know that. You should be tearing apart the Colorado Rockies, and you put yourself in a very unfortunate situation with a bullpen game. You can't be splitting the series at home against a team that was 18-50 heading into the series when they were not playing in Coors Field. Please. Oh, yeah, but, this is what I heard. It's okay to lose 2 of 3 to the Brewers because you're supposed to on the road, but then you at least have to take care of business against the Rockies at home. Well, off to a shit start for that one. Huh? Jeez. All right, before we head out of here, I need to tell you about my friends over at BetQL. Do you want any advantage over your sportsbook? Of course you do. Download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their best bet computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best recommendation for every game across all major sports and give you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player props. There is sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing. Line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time. Team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and the over-under. And the team lineup, breaking news, and injury status updates. Plus, you can save all your picks in one place to track your success and winning streaks, as well as view your rank on the leaderboards. Head to the App Store or Google Play now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/Brodes to get started. Enter the discount code Brodes at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description down below. Make sure you check out BetQL. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I will see you next time.